Hey family. So anybody that knows me know I don't really post on social media at all. But I'm big on giving individuals their flowers while they can smell them. And I do want to give a special shout out to Pastor Thompson, right? So for any who don't know, right, Pastor Thompson was one of the pastors at Lighthouse, one of the individuals who've made a really, really important impact in my life. There are a few pastors who deeply um, I tie to my spiritual growth and I deeply have a bond with, and he's one of the first. Now, Pastor Thompson was a pastor that did not baptize me, right? Growing up inner city youth, I didn't have any purpose. I didn't have any guidance. You know, my parents did what they could, and they did do a good job at raising me. But in regards to spiritual, my mom was still seeking and learning at that particular point in time, and my dad was in the church, and this was the church that he went to. So whenever I did go to church, in the beginning, that's where I went. And when I met Pastor Thompson, he was one who invested heavy in me. He was big into the youths, making sure that the youth had activities, things to do, socializations, opportunities for us not to get in trouble. Right? That was one of the biggest things. And he was one that would take the time to listen, but also to share whatever nuances of going through on a day. Very humorous. And it was that bond in nature that I really, really appreciated. When this guy talked about the signs of the times, you know, like, yo, dag, I need to stop playing. I need to get my life together. I need to get my life to God. He was one that told me many times, "Nate, when you gonna get your life to God? Stop playing around. I mean, when you gonna do something with yourself?" And I would laugh and joke it off. And I remember him even calling me to baptism, and I was like, I wasn't ready yet. I felt like I had to be perfect. But in learning of God's goodness, it wasn't I needed to be perfect. It was that I need to make that commitment and stand to make the pledge to walk this Christian journey. And he did a great job doing so when he moved to Queens or got elected to govern a church in Queens, be a shepherd of a church in Queens. It hurted. But one of the two passages that comes to mind when I think about Pastor Thompson, one is 1 Corinthians 3:6. Who, I'm going to read the second half. I have planted, Apollo watered, but God gave the increase. And this is actually 1 Corinthians 3:5 and 6. And 6 is the part that I read. Though Pastor Thompson did not baptize me, he laid down enough foundation. He laid down enough of the word. He showed me enough of God's love and goodness. All right. And he gave me mercies, even when I was reckless in his own house and whenever he saw me, that it laid down enough foundation that when he left, the next pastor that came along, I got baptized with. And it wasn't anything that pastor did wasn't eloquent. You know, he still was a man of God as well. But it was really because of the foundation and the agitation of the spirit left in me due to the words that Pastor Thompson shared, and I'm so forever grateful for it. And then to those pastors who are also watching and listeners by any chance, or anybody that's ministering onto other individuals, I want you to keep this in mind. I have planted, Apollo water, but God give the increase. There's sometimes where we don't see the fruits of the work that is being done. But rest assured that it is being done. And it's all for God's glory. It's all for his revelation. And when we make it, Lord's willing, and we're able to see the scrolls, we're able to see what kind of impact we have done. Like Pastor Thompson has made an impact in my lives and many others. At the event, there were many other individuals who maybe haven't attended, but he definitely left the impact. And as me speaking represents a plethora of individuals who are unspoken that he's left the impact for. And for that, I am forever grateful. I'm forever appreciative. The next passage that I think of when I think of Pastor Thompson, I would love to share with you, is this one. It's come from Isaiah 61, verse 1. And it says, the Spirit of the Lord of God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. I was searching, I was seeking, I didn't have a sense of purpose. And I can see that I was in bondage to the things of this world, and didn't have any peace as a result of it. And this man's servant, Pastor Thompson, was one that, like I said, no holds bar, mouth had no filter, in a good way. He'll preach thus saith the Lord, and he knew and had tact when to be firm or stern, but also knew when to bow or give a little. And I'm so appreciative of the freedom of the good news of Jesus Christ, and how God used Pastor Thompson in a very special way to be able to deliver that, so that I can be free. My whole life is a lot better because I've submitted to the will of Jesus, to his will for my life. I have so much purpose, direction. My financial, mental, spiritual health and well-being has been a result of following God and his words. And I'm so grateful that you, Pastor Thompson, had laid down a foundation in doing so. And I pray that as you are now in retirement, you may enjoy it, and whatever God is calling you to do in this chapter and stage of your life, may you be obedient to it. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for what you've done to be continued. Like I said, your daughter, it's not too far from where we live. Hey, if you ever want to come through, never hesitate. Just give a brother advance notice so we can make sure we're here and prepare, right? But on a serious note, may the Lord continue to bless you and be with you. Thank you so much. And for those who are watching, I pray that you'll be inspired to continue to do the work and to not give up, because you don't know how far your impact can go. Love you all. Maybe I'll talk about how the church has led me to grow in very special ways as well. But for today, I just want to give a shout out to my man, my big bro, my pastor, Dr. Harris Thomas. Love you, man. To be continued. Take care.